Good evening and welcome to Breaking Today News right here on Switch TV. I am Lincoln Wambogo. Our sign language interpreter is Tracy Dorcas, and these are the top stories. 8 senior security government officials in the Ministry of Interior suspended over acts of omission that led to the death of 10 people in UHURU County after consuming illicit brew.
Congratulations.
President Kenyatta announces cash rewards as he receives representatives of the triumphant Kenyan contingent to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Taliban military declares a war against Afghanistan government over hours after the complete seizure of the country's capital, Kabul. Glad you're watching. Send in your feedback and comments to our SMS line 111 Switch TV Kenya and at Lincoln Wambogo on all social media handles. All 30 minutes of the broadcast begins now. The two-day Naivasha tour has kicked off today with a key parliamentary group members allied to the One Kenya Alliance leaders already arriving to discuss a wide range of issues concerning the coalition. According to reports, ODM boss RAILA ODINGA could join the team tomorrow on their final day as the coalition tables their strategies to clinch the top seat in 11 months. Daniel Karaoke reports.
Just 11 months to the highly anticipated general elections, parties and leaders continue to measure the weight of their influence, with those opting for coalitions trying to set solid foundations. Today, all roads led to Naivasha, where One Kenya Alliance affiliate party members and officials began a two-day retreat where a special technical committee representing Wiper Party, ANC, Ford Kenya and KANU is tomorrow expected to submit a special report on their coalition's preferred color of party, logo and symbol the coalition will use, coalition constitution, manifesto of the One Kenya Alliance, campaign strategy, and the power-sharing formula. The four party leaders are expected to review a proposal by President Uhuru Kenyatta last week in Mombasa County to reunite the former allies. This, as reports indicate, that ODM leader RAILA ODINGA could be joining the caucus for the main event tomorrow. While KANU's Gideon Moi seems to be willing to work with ODINGA, Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka, ANC's leader Musalia Mudavadi, and Ford Kenya's Moses Wetangula remain reluctant and would only work with ODINGA if he joins the coalition on equal terms. This two-day Naivasha convention is expected to seal a coalition treaty whilst unveiling a possible formation to be used by the One Kenya Alliance at the highly anticipated general elections. Daniel Karaoke for Switch TV, Nairobi County.
Thank you, Daniel Karaoke. The looming ouster targeting IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati continues as a section of Kenyans welcome the move, with some maintaining their stand that Chebukati is able to conduct a free and fair election in 2022. However, as Robert Ouma reports, the 2010 Constitution of Kenya does not present a smooth ground for removal of an IEBC commissioner.
2 days after a section of ODM party members ignited the gear to start a drive for the ousting of IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, the debate is now heating up, welcoming different bodies giving their say on the matter. The section of ODM members led by the minority leader John Mbadi hinted a plan to kick out Chebukati on the basis that the current commission is not capable of overseeing any elections in the country. However, according to constitutional lawyers, it may take the frontiers of the mission forever to oust Chebukati, since there is a categorical legal procedures to be adhered to. But how tough or easy is it for a chairperson of the commission to be removed from the office?
Njia za kumtoa chairman wa IEBC ni njia mbili peke yake. Njia tatu peke yake. Either tenure yake imeisha na hiyo bado, ama yeye mwenyewe ajiuzulu, ama afe. Na ya tatu ni njia ya kutumia koti, ambapo tunampata na hatia fulani katika usimamizi wa uchaguzi, kwa hivyo tunampeleka kotini na anaondolewa.
With less than a year to the highly anticipated 2022 general elections, the move continues to receive counters from the local mwananchi, who are the decision makers on the elections.
Wakishamtumia tena amekuwa wasted, tena wanatafuta tena mwingine wa kuweka pale, so siku wanatumia watu kama puppet. Unaona, siku ati hao wakiamka leo wanaamua kurule vitu, wanarule vitu venye wanataka. Mimi ninaweza sema kama kuna law ambayo inaweza defend wenye kusimamia uchaguzi, ningeomba waiweke law na isimamie mtu akiwa pale atolewe na sheria, isilikuwe natolewa juu ya command ama juu ya magwiji.
Tuamini ile tume nzima, na ili especially wakati tunafanya elections zikuwe ile free, ndio inaweza leta tuamini the whole event, the whole.
As whispers continue to gather momentum on the removal of IBC Chair Wafula Chebukati, the big questions still remain on the timeliness of this move just 356 days before the 2022 general elections. Robert Thomas, Switch TV in Nairobi.
Robert Olmer, thank you. The Court of Appeal will on Friday, 20th August, issue ruling on the fate of the Constitution Amendment Bill 2020, popularly known as the Building Bridges Initiative BBI. According to experts, if the verdict favors BBI proponents, there is a high likelihood ODM leader RAILA ODINGA will officially declare his presidential bid. On the other hand, if the petition flops, the case will be appealed once again and be heard and determined by the Supreme Court, further derailing the constitutional amendment process. Our very own Flora Lemuki files the report.
You still insist that you oppose that?
The 7-judge bench chaired by Justice Daniel Musinga is expected to either uphold the High Court ruling that halted the constitutional amendment reforms in the country or invalidate it altogether, giving the green light for Kenyans to head into a referendum.
While pretending to observe the Constitution, the political elite will use amendments, constitutional amendments, to ensure that they extend their stay in power and concentrate power in their hands.
The BBI process is being fueled by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his handshake partner RAILA ODINGA, while William Ruto appears to be differing on changing of constitution.
Mambo ya kubadilisha katiba irudi nyuma, mambo ya kubadilisha uchumi iwekwe mbele.
And let us not entertain the side shows, because there are too many side shows that are detracting us from where we want to go.
The countdown to the Friday verdict on BBI process has begun, a ruling that comes at a time when the country is facing heightened political heat as the electioneering period comes close. According to an expert, ODM leader RAILA ODINGA is also expected to declare his presidential bid after the verdict.
One thing it will do is to, if say the judgment went against the BBI promoters, then we're expecting somebody like RAILA. He had previously said that he will not announce whether or not he's vying for the presidency until the BBI verdict is done and dusted. So we'll be expecting an announcement either way, whether for or against him seeking the presidency after we get the verdict on the 20th. So that is probably the only important thing on the political process.
According to lawyer Isaac Alochier, if the Court of Appeal stops BBI, which seeks to expand the executive and parliament, the appellants are likely to proceed to the Supreme Court for a final shot. He further states that a pro-BBI could put the country into an unprecedented crisis with less than a year remaining before the general elections.
If the appellants have their way. Alternatively, if the petitioners in the High Court have their way and the Court of Appeal affirms the decision of the High Court, one can expect maybe the promoters of the BBI will have one further shot in the Supreme Court. But that will further delay the planned referendum. And so they'll still proceed with what they're trying to do. They're trying to form the various alliances in an effort to basically obtain political power come next election.
The much-awaited Friday ruling will be issued with Judges Daniel Musinga alongside colleagues Justices Hannah Okwengu, Patrick Kiage, Fatma Sichale, Gatembu Kairu, Roslyn Nambuye, and Francis Tuyot. The Court of Appeal is set to give its verdict on BBI this Friday. This ruling comes at a time when the country is facing heightened political heat as the 2022 general elections approaches. Flora Limuki, Switch TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Flora Limuki. Elsewhere, a section of residents and local leaders in Kakamega County have issued a stern warning to their governor, Wycliffe Oparanya, and his ODM party counterparts for planning a meeting that endorsed RAILA ODINGA to accompany President Uhuru Kenyatta in his trip to the region. Led by Stephen Musundi, they hold firm ODINGA cannot lead the President Kenyatta to the region as he does not hail from the region, and instead ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi should. They also want ODINGA to sort internal wrangles in ODM party before forming a coalition with other political parties.
Sisi Kakamega tunatambua Musalia yako. Na hii mkutano tunapata habari ya kwamba rais anakuja kukaribishwa na mtu mwingine kutoka kando ati anaitwa baba. Sasa mimi nashangaa baba akaribisha kila Kenya yote, akaribisha Kisumu, akaribisha Kakamega Western, akaribisha kila mahali. Na kama mkutano ni yetu ya Kakamega, jameni, si atuachie basi Musalia amkaribishe. Kama ni ya Kisumu, apeleke Kisumu, amkaribishe Kisumu.
Mimi kwa maneno yenye nasikia kwamba rais anaingia Kakamega Saturday na ilali Musalia hajahusishwa kwa hiyo msafara ya kukuja Kakamega. Ati Raila ndiye anakuja kukaribisha rais hapa kwetu, sisi hiyo tumekataa.
Yenye nasikia uko hapa Musalia hajahusishwa ndani. Hatujajua Musalia yako wapi. So sisi kama wana boda boda, the first sisi wana boda boda, hatutakubali hiyo mkutano kufanyika hapa. Sababu sisi tunatambua Musalia kama ndio kiongozi wetu wa Western, kila kitu ikifanyika ni lazima tunataka Musalia awe mbele.
Yule mwenye atakuwa president, Kakamega ndio inapima mtu mwenye atakuwa president. Na Western wakisema ni fulani ni fulani. Kwa hivyo Western imeamua wakati huu ni nani?
Still on March's politics, former Secretary General of the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, Dr. Muhisa Kitui, has today carried out several meetings in Lurambi constituency, Kakamega County, to popularize his presidential bid. Kitui believes he is the answer to Kenya's troubles. He says he has begun engagements with small and focused groups in order to avoid large events which could go against the protocols issued by the Ministry of Health.
Kwamba huku Muhisa akisukumwa, Eugene Wamalwa na yeye amesukumwa, ameanzisha chama kingine inaitwa DAP. Wetangula ndio huyo anapigana kuhusu mambo ya Fort Kenya. Mudavadi ndio huyo anamangamanga na mambo ya ANC. Naona leo Mheshimiwa Kitui yako na viongozi wa chama ya Maendeleo Democratic Movement. Mimi nilikuwa nafikiri kwamba yeye atatangaza chama ya Slay Queens of Kenya. Lakini ametangaza, pengine atatangaza hapa tutajua. We want people like Muhisa to step up their game in politics. It's not about our big education, which him and I we enjoy. It is about the lives of this little children.
With our story from Kakamega County, we now take a short commercial break. Stay tuned, we'll be back with more. Welcome back and thank you for keeping it Switch TV, sending your feedback and comments to our SMS line 111 at Switch TV Kenya and a link on Obogo on all social media handles. Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembeya has suspended 8 senior security government officials in the Ministry of Interior. Natembeya announced their suspension after preliminary investigations showed that their acts of commission or omission led to the death of 10 people in Bahati, Nakuru County after consuming illicit brew.
Penda kutangaza ifuatavyo ya kwamba Deputy County Commissioner wa Bahati North Bwana Godfrey Mwami Mayama ambaye ni senior DCC amekuwa interdicted kuanzia leo. Namba 2, Bwana Bernard Omugunda ambaye ni Sub County Police Commander wa Bahati wa Nakuru North kule Bahati pia amekuwa interdicted leo. SEC wa Kiamaina ambaye ni DO Bwana Isaac Ooko amekuwa interdicted. Chief, Area Chief na Assistant Chiefs wa sehemu hiyo wamekuwa interdicted pia, na nataka kwa kutuma acting DC leo, acting OCBD atatumwa leo, acting ACC pia, no, not acting ACC, ACC atabadilishwa ile amekuwa interdicted, tunatuma ACC mwingine mpya na tutaanza mipango ya kuweka machief ambao wanaweza kufanya kazi vizuri. Ningependa kusema hivi and I want to confirm ya kwamba kama kutakuwa na kifo chote kinafanyika in any place kwa sababu maafisa wamezembea kazini, hatua kama hii itachukuliwa. Watu watakanyaga nyumbani. Kuanzia kesho hakuna county commissioner ambaye atapatikana kwa ofisi yake akikaa kwa ofisi na kule nje watu wanabugia all of them.
4 cattle theft suspects were early morning arrested by Kandara police after they were interdicted transporting 2 stolen dairy cows worth 400,000 shillings from Naro village of Kandara sub-county. Kandara Police Commander Catherine Ringera confirmed the arrest, saying they spent 5 hours hunting the suspects who are playing with the police a cat and mice game. According to the county commissioner, these scams when dairy cattle theft targeting teachers has become rampant in the area. The commissioner has warned of stern legal action against cattle thieves.
Kiasi tumekuwa na issues ya wizi ya ng'ombe area ya Kandara, na tumejaribu usiku, tunalala nje, tunaweka trap, atufaulu kwa vile inaonekana ile vitu inatendeka na ile watu wanajua area, na hatujaifanikiwa. Na jana usiku kukakuwa tuko na information ilikuwa mzuri.
Kuwa wametusumbua area hii, wametuimbia ng'ombe, boma kadhaa, ng'ombe zimeenda, lakini siku hiyo ikafika mwisho leo.
On this week's episode of Know Your CEO, we get to interact with MICAH Kenneth, the regional manager of Bolt in East Africa. Take a look. Ever want to know how a CEO sees his wealth? Then here's how. Apart from running an organization and strategizing, their key role is to ensure there is money in the bank. Our CEO this week is Kenneth MICAH, Bolt's regional manager. Kenneth, thank you for creating time. Please describe to us in a nutshell the kind of business you're leading.
Pleasure to meet you, Lincoln, and thank you for welcoming to our office. The business we're leading, massive. So we are a technology company, the leading technology company in Europe and Africa that is focused in the transportation space. So we're the leading ride-hailing player in both Europe and Africa, where we've chosen to focus. The nature of our business includes creating a marketplace that is technologically enabled, where drivers, these are the providers of transportation services, are able to log in and go online and be ready to receive trip requests from passengers who are seeking mobility between point A and point B within multiple cities. We're presently operating over 35 countries of around 300 cities. So that's, in a nutshell, is the complexity, in a simple term, of our business scale.
Can you please paint to us a brief picture of the journey you took to becoming Bolt's regional manager?
So I joined Bolt in 2017, the last quarter. I think it must have been October. And I joined in the smallest city back then in East Africa, that is Mombasa. And I joined as an operation manager for, to help in the launch of Mombasa. That is around 3.5 years, almost clocking 4 years. And from there, my career really accelerated really fast, just because of focusing on the right things, focusing on right pricing, right operational excellence. And it's a culture that everything is very measurable. Every strategy you do, you actually see it, so to say, next day. So because of the internal management culture, of acting like an owner and the company deliberately rewarding that. So I scaled up through the ranks really fast. I meant to become regional manager for East Africa and just to extend the same operational excellence that we had achieved in Mombasa after the launch.
Where does Bolt stand in terms of market share and ratings?
We came into Kenya as a second player in ride-hailing, definitely following after our American friends, Uber. So Uber had launched in Kenya in 2016, and we came in about 2017, the second half. So we chose to deliberately, we kind of studied, of course, their market entry and what are their key items behind the success. And then we saw an addressed market, which is the wider base of the pyramid, the students, your everyday commuters. And so we just chose to deliberately focus on scaling and making Bolt more affordable and have the shortest arrival times. This is where Bolt stole significant market share. In terms of percentage, I know it's going to be disputable, but I can reference to App Annie rankings, where Bolt for the last 90 days, last 180 days, has been the top most downloaded application in Kenya.
COVID-19 affected companies in numerous ways. Some either shut down or really struggled with operations. How did you manage to keep Bolt afloat? What impact did COVID-19 have to Bolt?
So what we did to influence that is we saw that essential workers still needed to move. So we partnered with our medics and Kenya Healthcare Federation and a couple of other companies to launch what is called Wheels for Life. So this was a product that was available to medics and to emergency ride requests from expectant women during the curfew hours.
Micah, this is quickfire. We get to know Micah Kenneth on a more personal level. We loosen up a bit. Make a drive to work or take a Bolt to work?
I am such a control freak. I want to be in charge of everything I do. Like, that's one of the things that I think I'm trying to work on. So I also want to be in charge of my departure times, route choices. So I drive to work.
What is Gengeton?
Gengeton. Genge is... What is Genge? Genge... Tone, is it a ringtone in a phone or what? No, wait a minute.
If someone asked you today, Micah, take me to Kanairo, where would you take them?
Hey! It's loading, it's a familiar word. Is it a short form? Is there some popular club or something in Nairobi? What is Kanairo?
Kanairo is Nairobi.
It's like a small...
No, it's Nairobi.
Where did the KA come from?
I don't know. Are you in a boys' club?
The nice ones, the financial line.
Micah, you are very passionate about the youth. What word of advice do you have for the youth?
So my advice is, part of what you earn is yours to keep.
Indeed, according to Micah, part of what you earn belongs to God. The rest is yours. Keep it. Thank you, Micah, for creating time and for gracing Know Your CEO. Micah Kenneth is Bolt's regional manager. The conversation Know Your CEO continues next week. Many thanks for watching. Indeed, the conversation on OUCU continues next Monday. Zambian President Edgar Lungu has conceded defeat after election victory by opposition leader HICHILEMA. Edgar Lungu says he will support a peaceful transfer of power. Lizwe Saleh gives us more on this.
Zambian opposition leader HICHILEMA was today declared the winner of last week's bitterly contested presidential election. With 155 of 156 constituencies reporting, official results from the poll showed HICHILEMA had secured 2.8 million 10,777 votes against Lungu's 1.8 million 14,201 out of 7 million registered voters. HICHILEMA defeated the incumbent, President Edgar Lungu, by a landslide with more than 1 million votes. This was HICHILEMA's sixth attempt at contesting for the presidency. His supporters have been celebrating on the streets of the capital, Lusaka. Lungu's Patriotic Front has conceded defeat and have congratulated HICHILEMA after earlier alleging that the elections were not free and fair. Reporting for Switch TV, I'm Lizwe Saleh.
Thank you, Lizwe Saleh. The Taliban military has declared the war against Afghanistan government over hours after the complete seizure of the country's capital, Kabul. These comes after Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani fled the country on Sunday, leading to the subsequent fall of the government. Our reporter Bron Mwende has been following this developing story and files the following report.
The Taliban militia has sealed their control over Afghanistan, pouring into the capital Kabul and meeting little resistance after President Ashraf Ghani fled the country. This has led to the subsequent collapse of the government, chaos and fear gripping the city, tens of thousands of people trying to escape. This was the situation at the airport of Kabul on Sunday. Everyone hanging on the last inch of hope to escape from the tensed city. After effortlessly taking over Kabul, different countries have taken the initiative to flee their citizens and delegates from the war-hit country. During the process, at least 5 people have been killed by gunfire today in a chaotic scene at the passenger terminal of Kabul International Airport. Thousands of Afghans who fear for their lives after the Taliban takeover of the country converged in hopes of getting on an evacuating flight as the insurgents consolidated their effort to control the capital. Over the past few days, the Taliban has taken 27 of Afghanistan's 34 provincial capitals. At least 244,000 people have been internally displaced since the beginning of May, when the Taliban group began multiple offensives against the Western-backed Afghanistan government. The big question from this takeover is, 2 decades since the United States government ousted the Taliban and began to build the Afghanistan government, are things any different? Bron Mwende, Switch TV.
And from the sports desk, President Uhuru Kenyatta has today received representatives of the triumphant Kenyan continent to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and announced cash rewards of